Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Them Thar Hills, directed by Charley Rogers from 1934. As yes, we are back once again, research from the channel. This time around, we're here for another Laurel and Hardy short, and this is Them Thar Hills, of course, a very popular short amongst the Laurel and Hardy films, and yeah, one that I really look forward to talking about today on the channel. I saw this again a few weeks ago now, and it's the one that I've seen a few times, over the years, and it's the one that I've always, just loved, and it's one that's just, always been stuck in my mind. The locations, of course, and just the whole concept of this one. But yeah, before we talk about this today, there will be a spoiler warning for this discussion. If you haven't seen this film, I simply recommend seeing it first, and then come back to this video, and we can go from there. We can talk from the comments, and yeah, celebrate cinema. So yes, with all that said, let's discuss my thoughts on this film, and yeah, what a film this is. This is one that just blows me away every time, and it's one that, it's always, as I say, stuck in my mind. When I think of kind of favourite Laurel and Hardy shorts, this is one of the one that's always kind of come to mind. It's just such a one that, I go, oh, that one, just it's so classical, kind of peaceful, and just real kind of highlight amongst their filmography, and iconic. And while I haven't seen this short as much as, for example, Music Box, Hog Wild, Bratz, They Go Boom, Toad in the Hole, some of my most watched ones, Murder in the Air, all these ones. Still one that I've seen quite a few times over the years, and from a young age as well, as a kid. So it is very nostalgic to me, and personally. And yeah, it's one obviously as well. It's the rare short that actually got a follow-up, a sequel, a true sequel to this with Tit for Tat, obviously, and that was the one that was nominated for an Academy Award. But yeah, it's so popular, of course, at the time that they did follow up 5 months on with Tit for Tat, a direct sequel with the exact same characters, and kind of playing on the plot from this one and what happens with this film. And that is just so cool, I think. And it was great to kind of see Tit for Tat. I saw it a few days after, rewatching it after this film a few weeks ago. So that was really cool. But Them Thar Hills, this is the one that is just so special. It has the great locations, just so kind of peaceful, relaxing, this one. And just up in the mountains, obviously, as part of the plot, where obviously Hardy, kind of has gout in this one, and Billy Gilbert, plays a doctor who kind of, he kind of says you should go into the mountains. It's good for, you're kind of resting, and good air, good water, and all this kind of stuff. The line as well, and he says you won't know yourself once you come back, kind of thing. It's just so funny, and I love the way that's kind of played later on in the film, where Laurel says we won't know each other, that kind of thing. He plays on that, and it's just, I love how how you have set this film up though. It's just so funny, and yeah, it makes it more epic as well in scope. A very, very short film, obviously 20 minutes, but like these Laurel and Hardy shorts, I just feel like there's so much kind of covered in this, and it's this journey, even though it's a very short film, and it's just, it really is an epic one, this, and I just love the locations, as I say, and the way they do kind of journey to the mountains, and it's just a real kind of adventure to it, even though once they get there, it's kind of just the one location in this caravan, of course, this trailer, and it's just so great, so iconic that, and as well, we have this really interesting kind of bit. We have these moonshiners kind of trying to evade the law. There's this massive shootout, which is so cool, and I love that moment. And then they kind of dump quite a lot of the moonshine, obviously, the alcohol, into the well, which is right near the kind of trailer that Laurel and Hardy, set up in, and kind of because of the advice, from the doctor as well, because of his kind of what he's recommended, it encourages them even more to kind of drink from the well to get some fresh local kind of water in that sense, from the mountains, so it's so good the way that's done, and the comments as well that Laurel makes, especially, it's just, I feel better already, kind of thing. Just all this stuff, and actually they are getting, as we go throughout the course of the actual the film here, the short, they do get more and more progressively drunk as it goes on, until the end, where it all kind of goes chaotic, and at the same time we have this couple played by Charley and Mae Busch, and they kind of go into the mountains as well. They're kind of nearby, and looking for someone to help them because they've broke down, all this kind of stuff, and they come into it, and Charley leaves his wife, obviously Mae Busch, playing the wife, with Laurel and Hardy in the kind of trailer there. And in that sense, obviously, we have all three of them getting drunk together. Mae Busch playing, obviously, Mrs. Hall. She's getting so drunk in this film as well. And obviously then, when Mr. Hall comes back, Charley Hall playing Mr. Hall, obviously, he kind of notices this. And that's when the final kind of fight ensues. And we have the kind of the punching, back and forth. That was so funny. And the kind of getting back at each other and all this. It's so funny. And, culminating really in the trailer, kind of collapsing, in that sense, and Hardy kind of jumping into the well finally, and then blowing up, obviously, from the alcohol that's in the well, and the fire and all this. It's just such a great ending to the film. It's just so perfect, this one. And you know, I think just the way this progresses the short, you know, it's one of the very, very best for me, you know, with Laurel and Hardy. And you know, I think just, you know, Charlie Hall in this, one of his best characters, and one of his more kind of prominent roles as well. Mae Busch is so great in this, and just the way it's very small scale. We focus, you know, kind of one location of the film, but it is really epic in scope. You know, at least for a short film, you know, it just covers so much ground, and just the journey of it, you know, the adventure kind of feeling of this when they start off, you know, with the Doctor, obviously Billy Gilbert, and they go into the mountains, and I love the shot as well. You know, on that note, with, you know, Charlie Hall and Mae Busch kind of just walking when they're first introduced. That's a great shot there, and just when they're looking around, you know, kind of. Seeing you know, where they can kind of go to get help, this kind of thing. You know, I love that moment there, and it's just so well shot, this one, and it does have that kind of sweeping feel to it, even though it is, as I say, you know, short film, and it's so epic. It's so kind of you know, relaxing and peaceful film, this, and it really is a magical film from Laurel and Hardy. And you know, I think as Charlie Hall in this film, as I say, is so great. You know, it's just the way he kind of plays this perfect villain role, obviously, in quite a lot of most of the Laurel and Hardy shorts he's in, and you know, I think it's just the way, you know, in this one, it's one of the defining, you know, I think villainesque roles that he played, and just the way in which the characters are done in this, it really kind of well built up, and you know, I think just as well when Hardy is kind of, he's really getting, you know, so drunk over the course of the film, and when he says, you know, why certainly, you know, he's completely drunk there, and his line delivery, it's just something I burst out laughing at. I couldn't control myself. We were laughing, you know, so much of this one, and it's just so funny, that moment there. Yeah, it's just really is one of the funniest parts, you know, of the film, and it's just so many moments in this. The amount of laughing going on in this, it's just one of the funniest Laurel and Hardy shorts, and you know, I think the way in which yeah, just they kind of they're doing this song as well, you know, that they do throughout the film. They kind of different stages of the song, and then. Mae Busch as well, you know, kind of catches on to this, and in the end they're all kind of drunk and singing this song. Just when Charlie Hall kind of hears this, the reaction is priceless. But you know, I love the way in which things are built up, yeah, in that sense, and they kind of progress, you know, throughout the film, including the song, of course. It's just legendary stuff, and you know, just as a kid as well, you know, the way it kind of stuck with me, the song, and you know, I always remembered this, the lyrics, the kind of general melody to this. It was just so funny, and you know, I think it's such an iconic kind of song, you know, in their shorts, and you know, I think, yeah, the way this is shot, edited, it's just perfect for me, and you know, I think this is definitely one of the defining shorts Laurel and Hardy made. You know, Laurel and Hardy together in this one, so charming, but then you add in, you know, Mae Busch and Charlie Hall as this couple, obviously, and the way it kind of causes this tension, you know, when Mae Busch comes into the trailer with them, that's when things really start picking up, and I think with the tension, you know, it's all kind of peaceful and quiet with them until that, and then, you know, Charlie Hall, the final, you know, kind of 5 minutes or so, you know, of the film, when he kind of gets back at them, and just the punches as well, you know, it's just some of the funniest, you know, reactions and, you know, punches and reactions between them, you know, in any of their films, actually. You know, it is really hard hitting and kind of brutal, you know, in this one, but it's just so kind of charming as well, and it's just a perfect balance, you know, I think, with tension. You know, you got yeah, Charlie Hall's the villain in this one, what goes on with this couple, and also just the real peaceful, kind of relaxing, charming, you know, camaraderie between Laurel and Hardy. And one of the funniest parts as well is when, you know, Laurel kind of gets the kind of, you know, the axe there, you know, kind of you know, hits right into Hardy's foot. You know, that was just so funny when he's kind of drinking as well, and he's like, you know, kind of the reaction there is so funny there, and yeah, it's just full of laugh out loud moments, and from start to finish, this is just, for me, one of the very, very best Laurel and Hardy shorts. It's just so iconic, you know, it's got the perfect balance as well between the kind of tension, you know, the friction between the couple and Laurel and Hardy, and also just the charm of this one, and the kind of just them escaping into the mountains as well. The whole kind of concept of this, you know, it's just so cool, and the execution is just perfect for me. This is one of the best shorts that they made for me, and you know, it's definitely, obviously, as well, towards the end of their, you know, their time in terms of making shorts. They didn't make too many more after this. Obviously, Tit for Tat was one of their big ones they had left. Obviously, a follow-up, a sequel, direct sequel to this film. But you know, they didn't make too many more after this. So it's kind of towards the end of their shorts. They would kind of, obviously, you know, venture more just into feature films for the rest of their career. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best, and you know, I think it's just so well made, so well kind of shot and edited, and it's just so hilarious from start to finish. The charm of this one, the magic, and just the locations, that's what really makes it as well, and the whole kind of concept of this with the moonshiners as well, and all this dumping the alcohol into the well. A very simple setup, and yeah, it really is priceless, this one, and the execution of this. The concept and the way they kind of use different elements and progress them throughout the film, the song of course, and the whole kind of the gag obviously of Hardy having this cast on for gout and all this, and just the way that kind of plays into this, and it's just throughout the film great kind of use of playing with words, as well as just pure perfection with the slapstick, and I think just Hardy's cast and everything that happens with him, and just the way in which the alcohol comes into it, and the way they get drunk throughout the film, the song, as I've said, and all the characters in this one. More of a small scale film at times, but it is really epic in scope as well. And yeah, just definitely one of the most adventurous films that they made at heart, and such a journey that we go on, and yeah, it's such a memorable film, this, and definitely one of my personal favourite Laurel Hardy shorts. See, as for my rating of the film, it is a masterpiece, and for me, it's 100%. So yeah, an extremely high score, of course, full marks from me, and this is just one of the best shorts I've ever seen, and it's just priceless from start to finish, this one, and it's so memorable, so charming, this one, full of magic, full of heart, and just these gags that kind of created at first, and they run with them throughout the film, the way the film progresses, as I say, and the way it's shot and edited, it's just so well done. Even just the outfits in the film, Charley especially, it's so kind of memorable, this one, and it's just so great in the acting, from all of these characters, all these actors, and I think it's just so well done, the way that we have the first half really with just Laurel Hardy, in the trailer and all this, and then Mae Busch comes into it, especially, and then things go wrong. She gets drunk. It's just priceless. And yeah, then when Charley Hall does come back finally, and he kind of he sees what's happened, the way he gets into a punch up with Hardy, and just the back and forth between them, it's just truly legendary stuff, and all the way to the ending as well. And Hardy jumps into the well and blows up, flies up. That is just truly legendary, and yeah, what a legendary short this one is. Just a masterful, film from Laurel Hardy, and definitely one of my favourites they made. And yeah, next up in terms of Laurel Hardy's, I'll be talking about Tit for Tat, a direct sequel, obviously, to this film, Them Thy Hills. And yeah, I really look forward to that as well. And that's a really interesting film. The way they did make a direct sequel to this, and just have the same, kind of characters, obviously, as we said, that they play in that one. So that would be really cool to discuss. Very different to this film, completely different, in that sense. But it's such a great film for me as well, and I really love that one. So yeah, I really look forward to talking about that film. That'll be the next week that I'll get that up on the channel. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Them Thy Hills. What do you think on this film? We're going to comments your thoughts on this. How does it compare for you to different Laurel Hardy shorts, features, all this kind of stuff? Let's talk all this down below in the comments, and celebrate cinema. So yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.